Deborah. Happy Friday to you. Um, yes, so I am going to probably ruffle some feathers today. That's okay. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. I got some lovely falling water in the background. The reason I want to talk about this topic is because I feel like there's so much energy that can be poured into something that redirected. Let's put it that way. So yesterday, I had the privilege of attending a workshop for Black entrepreneurs here locally in Phoenix, Arizona. And um, we're kind of different backgrounds. Some people have been in business for a while, some people had an idea, hadn't started their business yet. But the theme that we talked about was leadership and vision, which, of course, I was very interested in. And the presenter mentioned that, in different research and surveys, Black entrepreneurs are good on the vision, very clear on their visions, on their intentions, what they want to put out there in the world, but maybe not so good at the follow through when it comes to the logistics of doing business. And the idea that was presented was because we lacked knowledge, or we lacked the desire to do the hard work, do the hard things. And I immediately felt some pushback inside of myself, and I knew this was a topic to share because I actually don't think it's about knowledge or stamina at all. I do believe that Black people, whether from where, when I say that, I'm speaking about the African diaspora, regardless of whether you came directly from West Africa or you came through like recently or through slavery in the past, that there is a clear knowingness in your cells, in your biology, of how to do, like, if business is about serving people, if business is about putting out there a service or a product that actually does people good, come on now. Africa as a continent, been doing it since the beginning of human history, right? Like, it's not like we don't know how to do that. It's in our blood. It's there just like every other people's. I don't think it has anything to do with our ability to work hard. I just don't. What I see it as, or I shouldn't say ability, that's not right, willingness to work hard. What I see, I don't see that as the issue. I see the issue as we kind of know, man, this isn't how we do it. All of these legal, jargon and protecting yourself and tight policies, they work in business as usual, but it's off. That's not how we do service. That's not how we serve each other. Not really. We know it's too tight. It's too restrictive. It doesn't feel right. And this is for every single human being. But I think peoples who have historically been oppressed have learned how to keep each other alive and to some extent thrive in incredibly difficult conditions. They know this isn't it. This isn't it. It's not it. Business as usual is not it. Capitalism, the way it's being done in our current modern era, is not it. And we know it. So we're like, why? Why put ourselves through that? When you know the joy of giving someone something as a gift because you want to, because you know they need it, because you know that they will make good use of it, because you know that it'll bring them joy. When you experience that joy, let me tell you, in most African and other countries in the world, in most languages, the word for lender and the word for borrower are pretty much the same thing. In the gift economy, a lender and a borrower are one and the same because we understand our interconnection. We understand that me giving something to you is giving it back to myself. It may not come back from you. It may come from somewhere completely different. But it's all in this universal bank account of giving and receiving. The Kuna coins, shells, they always come back. They circle around all the islands and they come back. This whole cheesy stereotype of Indian giving is because we understand we're not supposed to keep, hoard, and control in tightness and fear. We're supposed to circulate. What happens to your blood if it stays still? You die because your blood is supposed to circulate. If indeed money, currency, is the lifeblood of this economy, shouldn't we be circulating it? Oh, yeah. So then what's the deal with interest? What's the deal with passive income? What's the deal with holding property? What's the deal with all of that? Why are we so tight-fisted? Because we don't know our neighbors anymore. The person who comes into our store, the person who comes to our website, we don't know them. So we're doing our absolute best to make sure that we don't get got. I feel it, and I actually feel it more in the Black entrepreneurial community than I feel it in other communities I've been in, maybe just because I'm Black, maybe. But what if we could rethink this? What if we put down the master's tools for a second to nod to Audre Lorde, and we actually sat with, what if we already know everything we need to know? And we just did what we know in our bones, in our cells, in our lungs, in our heart. Feels right. Feels expansive. Feels abundant. Feels generous. What if we did just that? Now, I know there are many people who will say, well, you can't build a business off your feelings. I disagree. But then again, what are we defining as business? If we're talking about business as usual, then I agree with you. I agree 100%. You can't build a business as usual business off of feelings, which is why I mentioned yesterday, I'm like, I don't even know if I have a business. And I don't know that I want to have a business. I don't know that I care if I have a business or not. I care about serving. I care about the messages and the wisdom that's coming through me, the medicine that's coming through me to reach the people who it's meant to reach. That's all I care about. I don't care if it's a business or not. I don't care if it makes me money or not. I'm going to save that topic for another day because I understand sometimes I need financial capital. And then when I do need it, I always receive it because I'm in the gift economy. I am not in the money economy fully. I have to dance with it. I don't mind dancing with it. I don't have a problem with money circulation or the general idea of how the money economy, in general, in theory, would work. It's just that it's not working that way. It's working in a way that it's designed to work, but it's working in a way that's unsustainable and is destroying everything. Everything. No one is winning. And I don't know why no one sees it. I shouldn't say no one. A lot of people do not see that no one's winning from this game. Not even the people who think they're winning. No one's winning. Not the people who made up the game, and no one who's in it. And we're all in it. We can't say we're separate from it. We're all in it at some level, at some degree. But can we pour our energy and our effort into building a different game, into playing a different game? We can use our imagination. So this is kind of like an add-on to what I've talked about many times in the past, which is to move away from competition to collaboration and cooperation, right? Co-creating with others rather than, the very individualistic, which there's nothing wrong with individual, like, I'm not saying abandon your individuality, no, but I'm just saying this very individualistic way of saying, I'm going to achieve this for myself. Why do I need to be a business owner? First of all, think about the word owner and think about the way that businesses and corporations are seen by law. They're actually seen as entities and treated in a lot of ways like people by law. So if you own an entity that's treated as a person, what are you? No one likes to use the word slaver, but that's kind of what it is, isn't it? So I like to use the word steward because it's a little bit more accurate. Every organization and the work that I do, every organization, every project has a life of its own. It has a purpose of its own. It has a personality of its own that is unique to it. And so there's no need for us to own it, but rather we can work with it. And when we work with it, when we steward this business or project or organization that we've been entrusted with, and that can also be applied to a family too, FYI. But I won't go there today, but you can take the same principles and apply them to family. When we're working with this organization, this entity, this personage, we can learn from it just as much as we can teach it and guide it and direct it. Just like our kids. In fact, I use that analogy all the time, that, a company or an organization is a founder's baby, right? And so, yes, you're guiding it, and yes, it takes a lot of energy out of you, and yes, there's a lot that you're doing to sustain it. However, at some point in time, it will grow up and, take wings, and then all the way through the process, you can be learning from it just as much as you're guiding it. Okay. So anyway, coming back to this idea of Black entrepreneurs, taking the knowledge that we have in ourselves that says, this ain't it. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. for this. It's not that I can't get up at 4 a.m., but not for this. And maybe it's not getting up at 4 a.m., but whatever it is that to you looks like hard work, maybe you're not wired to do hard work. A third of the population not here for hard work. And even the other 2/3 only here for hard work, that in the sense of painful because you don't want to do it, but because just maybe you put a lot of effort into it because you do love it. Okay. So if we think about it, if we can really focus in on what we already know in ourselves, how do we serve our friends, our family members? When you've enjoyed the cookout, what made it so special? What made it something that was memorable, that you couldn't stop talking about it? I guarantee it wasn't because somebody said you only get one ticket, you got to pay for this, you got to put your shoes there, I guarantee you it wasn't the policies that governed the cookout that made it memorable. I guarantee you. But isn't that what you want? Isn't that what you want to create? The energy you want to create with people who engage with your business, engage with your project, engage with your organization? Don't you want them to feel like it was the best cookout ever and tell their friends about it and want to come again? Isn't that what you want? Now, that takes us to a different topic of how society has been conditioned to think and behave, and I'm not going to get into that today. But we, as purpose driven leaders, we, as people who are seeing with vision what time it is, understanding that we're moving into a different era where things are changing, we can set the example. We can set the role. We can be role models of a different way of being, a different way of entrepreneuring that is not extractive. I don't know why we as Black people have a hard time seeing that system is never going to work for us because it was built on our backs. It was built on our backs. It's not about saying, okay, I'm going to get at the table, because guess what? The table is still resting on the backs of turtles, of whales, of countless life and species and humans who are being extracted, exploited, manipulated, and killed for the sake of profit. We can do better. We can leave that story, love it, receive the gifts and the wisdom that it gives us, but create a better game that's actually equitable. We're really the best. We're the best qualified to do it because we know what doesn't work. People who think they've benefited from the system, they don't really see it until you point it out to them. Look, you see how this doesn't work? And then they're like, oh, okay. But we know it don't work. We've lived every single day code switching, suppressing, hiding who we are, working 10 times harder. We know that it doesn't work. We know it. Why are we still feeding into it? With love, we can love it. We don't have to hate it, but we can lovingly release it and do something that works better. Come on. I'm beseeching you. Please, I would love to read in the comments what your thoughts are on this. I would love to hear. I would love the discussion to go. I'm not mad at anyone. I understand if you're mad at me, but truly, I'm saying this from a place of love. I know that I'm only scratching the surface. These are very complex issues. I'm not trying to pretend like I discovered everything. But I'm like, I can't watch this anymore silently. I have to say something. I have to say something. So I'm looking forward to reading your responses. There's a free PDF I have for purpose-driven leaders. If you want some questions to start chewing on, just let me know, type questions, and I will, in the comments, and I will send you a copy. All right? Much love.